Today I messed up by not giving my jacket to my date. So this happened approx a year ago. I, 19M, went out on a sort of a blind date with my roommate's friend, 19F. So the date is going well, and after I pay for dinner I offer to walk her home. On our way to her home and while chatting she mentions that she's cold. It was winter in a high-altitude village. She was expecting me to give her my jacket and come a little closer, but my stupid ass just said it's pretty warm considering where we are and that it's winter, and we continued to walk. Nothing happened later in the date, and after dropping her home I walked back to mine. That's when my reply came to mind and I felt such a loser. Today I messed up by speaking in a British accent at work for 6 months. Quite funny now that I look back on it, but was very stressful while it was happening. I'm American. Born and raised. About a year ago I got hired at a local retail store, and when I got bored of it, I would talk to customers in a British accent as a joke to make my job more exciting. No harm, no foul. My employer actually found it entertaining as well. Months pass and I end up taking a new job working at a fast food place where your order, for the drive-thru, is taken outside by actual employees. Yes, Chick-fil-A, the management is much stricter, in being food service, it isn't much fun. I decide to once again, start using a British accent for fun in the drive-thru lanes. It works so well that some people ask where I'm from, and one customer even makes the remark, I get England and Australia confused. Needless to say, it's fucking hilarious. Anyway, today I was doing my usual British act and the iPad to take orders stops connecting to the card swiper. So I radio in for a new swiper. Back turn to the customer to not reveal my real voice. At CFA, if your card swiper isn't working, you can still take orders and you just tell them to pay at the window. So I take this dude's order, and as I begin instructing him to pull to the window, my manager comes out with the new swiper and stands right next to me. I have two options: continue my British act as I talk to the customer and hope my manager doesn't notice or care, or switch to my regular American voice. I'm not very good at split-second decisions and continue using my British accent while looking at my manager out the corner of my eye. Flash forward to the end of my shift, and as he's telling me to clock out, he says I need to make sure I'm speaking clearly in the drive-thru next time and that my actions today were unprofessional and a mockery. I chuckled. He didn't. Now I'm just hoping he doesn't fire me because I am not stopping anytime soon. Today I messed up getting circumcised. My friend, 22F, and I, 25 meters, had been discussing the idea of sleeping together since the beginning of the year. It's been an on and off discussion that culminated with us eventually agreeing to go through with it. We've always been low-key attracted to each other physically, but our friendship came first and we didn't want to jeopardize that. However, all it took was time for us to be single long enough before we were both like, you know what, friends with benefits might vibe for us. But. There was a but. My friend had a preference for circumcised penises and my penis was uncircumcised. She said she had unpleasant experiences with previous partners who were uncircumcised and never cleaned the David Cronenberg-level bacteria buildup underneath their foreskin. Even though I guaranteed her that I thoroughly washed my penis as frequently as possible, she was still uncomfortable with the thought of sleeping with another uncircumcised partner because she was worried that her past experience might lead to her getting the ick when she saw my uncut penis, regardless if it was clean or not, which kind of made sense to me to some degree. My friend asked if I ever considered circumcision. I said I never considered circumcision because I was happy with my penis the way it was. My friend apologized for being turned off by an uncut penis and suggested that we brainstorm ways to work around it somehow. She said she was willing to dry hump me and I said I was willing to go down on her, even if she didn't do the same for me. I generally enjoy providing pleasure more than receiving it, so I really didn't mind. My friend was somewhat reluctant about receiving oral without returning it, but I convinced her to at least test it out. After the first week of experimenting with our friends with benefits light option, we came to the following conclusion: dry humping didn't really do anything for me, but going down on my friend worked for both of us. However, I thought going down on my friend and getting her off, and then getting myself off afterwards, would be more than enough for me. But repeatedly hearing my friend moan mid-oral that she wanted me inside of her and me knowing that penetration with my uncut penis was prohibited, eventually broke me. So, a few weeks ago, I decided to get circumcised. I wanted to go all the way with my friend and I was willing to allow a complete stranger to literally chop off parts of my penis to accomplish that. Not gonna lie, I was thinking with the head between my legs at the time, not with the one upstairs. My friend was over the moon when she heard I was getting circumcised. She even offered to drive me to the clinic. The procedure was uncomfortable, but relatively painless. I was advised to avoid all sexual activity that involved my now circumcised penis for a period of 4 weeks. My friend and I obviously had to pause our plan to sleep together during that time. As of today, it's been 2 weeks and 2 days since my circumcision, and the plan my friend and I had to hook up is no longer on pause. It's dead, done, not happening. Less than a week after my circumcision, my friend met the perfect guy apparently. He's an optometrist and I think he might have helped her see that sleeping with him was a much better option than sleeping with me. My friend has downplayed the connection between the two of them, but going into the 3rd week of my recovery, it's become clear to me that my friend has hearts in her eyes for the eye doctor. My friend and I still need to discuss the future of our friends with benefits relationship, but based on the amount of photos she's been posting with Doc Opt, it's safe to assume that she's got a new relationship on the horizon. I know my friend well enough to suspect that she's most likely feeling conflicted for playing a part in encouraging me to get circumcised, and now she's low-key trying to figure out how to tell me that she wants to reinstate our platonic relationship and pull the plug on our friends with benefits arrangement. In the meantime, I'm healing from a spur-of-the-moment circumcision that I'm beginning to regret. Today I messed up by taking a chance and shooting my shot. So today I was on the train, and my 37-year-old, empty-wombed, single self sat opposite a dad with his kid. Dad was cute, child was cuter. We chatted, and turns out he split with mom and was ferrying his little girl back and forth for miles. Anyway, we chatted a bit and I gave him my number written on my business card, with a little message. He took it from me and put it in his bag. I was then like, read it. He said thanks, I will. But then he avoided eye contact as he got off of the train. Now if he doesn't message I will feel even worse. It has brought up a lot of questions for me. Did I come off as weird and interrogate him? Am I fat, ugly? I'll never have kids etc. So much regret. Today I messed up sucking D. Throw away for obvious reasons. This literally just happened. I can't tell anyone in real life so I have to share this somewhere. So it's a standard Saturday night, few drinks hanging out with my boyfriend and decided to move things on. We get to doing it and moved onto backside without preparing. It's a fantasy of his that I lick his D afterwards, which I don't have issue with, and have done before when we're in the mood, and drunk. So I gave it one long lick when done, and could feel something like a hair in my mouth. Pulled it out with my finger, turns out it was a worm. A whole worm. Probably worth mentioning that I work with kids so this is a thing I have to deal with semi-regularly. Kids get worms all the time. This is the grossest thing that's ever happened to me and we just discovered the biggest mood killer that can exist. Now just sat here both of us grossing out,